Imagine this. You're at the top of your game. Your name is synonymous with success. And then, suddenly, everything comes crashing down. What if your worst business nightmare, the kind that keeps you awake at night, became the very thing that launched your greatest comeback? It's a scenario most of us dread, but for some, it's the spark that ignites a whole new chapter. Let's dive into a story that proves sometimes hitting rock bottom is just the beginning of an epic rise. Let's talk about Donald Trump, a name that's impossible to ignore in American business and pop culture. Born into the lap of New York luxury, Trump grew up surrounded by the trappings of wealth and the relentless drive of his father, Fred Trump, a real estate mogul in his own right. But for young Donald, inheriting a fortune wasn't enough. He looked at the city's skyline and saw not just buildings, but opportunities to leave his own mark. From an early age, he was determined to step out of his father's shadow and build something even bigger, something uniquely his own. Trump's ambitions were sky high, literally. He didn't just want to manage apartment buildings or collect rent checks. He wanted to reshape the skyline, to see his name in lights atop the tallest towers. Skyscrapers, casinos, luxury hotels. These weren't just business ventures, they were statements. Trump envisioned a world where his brand would be synonymous with opulence, risk-taking, and, above all, winning. He poured his energy into high-profile projects, often courting controversy and attention, but always pushing the boundaries of what was possible in real estate. By the roaring 1980s, Trump Tower stood as a gleaming symbol of his ambition, a monument to luxury on Fifth Avenue. His ventures in Atlantic City brought glitz and glamour to the boardwalk, with casinos that promised excitement and extravagance. Trump became a fixture in the tabloids, a symbol of success and swagger, rubbing shoulders with celebrities and politicians alike. His name was everywhere, emblazoned on buildings, limousines, and magazine covers. For a while, it seemed like everything he touched turned to gold. But then came the 1990s, a decade that would test Trump's resilience like never before. The real estate market crashed, and with it, Trump's empire teetered on the brink of collapse. Billions of dollars in debt, failed casinos, and relentless headlines predicting his doom became his new reality. The same media that once celebrated his every move now questioned whether he'd ever recover. For most people, this would have been the end of the story, a cautionary tale about overreaching and the dangers of hubris. Most would have thrown in the towel, walked away, and faded into obscurity. But not Trump. Instead of surrendering to defeat, he doubled down on his determination. He negotiated with banks, restructured his debts, and fought tooth and nail to keep his business afloat. It wasn't easy, far from it. There were sleepless nights, tough decisions, and moments when the odds seemed insurmountable. But Trump refused to let failure define him. He saw every setback as a challenge to overcome, every obstacle as an opportunity to reinvent himself. And here's where the story takes a twist. Trump realized that in the age of media, perception could be just as powerful as reality. He began to craft a new image, not just as a real estate tycoon, but as a larger-than-life personality. He hustled his way into the spotlight, making himself a fixture on talk shows, magazine covers, and eventually television screens across America. He understood that if he couldn't control the headlines, he could at least become the headline. Suddenly, Trump wasn't just a name on buildings, he was a brand, and that brand was everywhere. From golf courses to bottled water, from luxury resorts to board games, Trump's name became a symbol of aspiration and reinvention. He even launched his own line of steaks and a university, each venture reinforcing the idea that the Trump brand was about more than just real estate. It was about the promise of success itself. Whether you loved him or hated him, you couldn't ignore him. But perhaps the most dramatic chapter in his comeback was his leap into reality television. With The Apprentice, Trump turned bankruptcy into a plot twist, transforming himself into a household name for a whole new generation. Each week, millions tuned in to watch him judge aspiring entrepreneurs, delivering his signature catchphrase, "You're fired," with theatrical flair. The show wasn't just entertainment, it was a masterclass in branding, resilience, and the art of reinvention. Trump showed the world that failure wasn't a dead end. It was just another business move, another chance to rewrite the narrative. So, what's the lesson in all of this? Is it about luck, timing, or simply being in the right place at the right time? Maybe a little. But more than anything, it's about the power of reinvention. It's about refusing to let setbacks define you, about seeing every failure as a stepping stone to something greater. Trump's story is a reminder that the path to success is rarely a straight line. It's filled with twists, turns, and unexpected detours. Failure isn't the end. Sometimes it's the beginning of your biggest chapter. The moments when everything seems lost are often the moments when you discover what you're truly made of. Whether you're building skyscrapers or starting over after a setback, the ability to adapt, to learn, and to keep moving forward is what separates those who succeed from those who give up. Reinvention isn't just a business strategy, it's a way of life. So, the next time you face a setback, remember Trump's epic comeback. Reinvention? That's the real secret to staying in the game. Whether you're a business mogul or just starting out, your story isn't over until you decide it is. Embrace the challenges, learn from your failures, and never be afraid to write a new chapter. Because sometimes your greatest success is waiting just beyond your biggest setback.